Hey guys, this is James at websitefornoobs.com, and this is our second tutorial video for our series of tutorials. For those of y'all that saw our first tutorial, we discussed a little bit about website hosting. We created a file plan and we added a site into Dreamweaver utilizing that file that we created, which was our My Site folder. All right. So in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to actually start designing a page itself. And what we need to do before we start doing that is explain the different parts of an HTML file and a CSS file. All right, so what an HTML is the actual contents. It tells a browser what to look for within a CSS file in order to make the page look the way it is. So within our HTML file, we're going to create div tags. A div tag is simply just an invisible box that you it's an invisible box that you put on your web page, and then you tell it what to do by utilizing classes of CSS to say, hey, I want you to be X amount of width wide, X amount of width tall, I want you to have this background color or this background image, I want you to be centered, I want you to have around the corners or whatever. So you actually control the div tag by the CSS file that is going to be separate from our website. And that's how we're going to develop our entire site. So for an example, all right, if you look at the website for Noob's website, our entire page, which is all centered right now, and all the edges are flush with each other, is actually held together by what's called a wrapper tag. It's a div tag that we have told it, utilizing CSS, to stay centered by having a left margin of auto and a right margin of auto. And we also told it from here to here, I want you to be 1,000 pixels wide. And then from there we broke it down even further. We said, hey, here's our main header bar. We want you to be, say 250 pixels tall, 1,000 pixels wide, and we want you to utilize this image right here that we created in Photoshop. All right, then we made our navigation bar. We said, hey, navigation bar, we want you to be butted up right against our header bar, or our header image, and we want you to change colors while we scroll over you, and we want you also to be 1,000 pixels wide and say 30 pixels tall. When we got down to our body, and we said, hey, we want you to be separate from our navigation bar because we don't want to smush you all together too close. So we actually created another div tag, a box that was for this guy right here. Then we put another box or a div tag within there, and then some more, and then more within those ones. And what we did, so we created a sequence of boxes. And each box we actually assigned a new CSS name. So for instance, this might be upper box. This will be scroll image. And as you see, the images scroll once in a while. So if we actually click on the button, see if anything happens. It doesn't want to scroll right now for some reason. It might be my internet connection or something. Let's go to reload that real fast. There we go. Alright, so this image will scroll across here and there. And if you guys hear some dogs barking in the background, I'm actually creating this video in my garage right now. So and the neighbor's dogs like to bark and fight a lot. So sorry about that. So here's our big box, our main div tag that's controlled by one CSS file that might be upper box. Then we have our scroll image, which might be a div tag of scroll, and then a CSS tag controlling that specific scroll image. We have our three other boxes below it, our website hosting, commerce hosting, and LLC processor. Each one of those will have an upper and a lower box, all surrounded by one big box. So as you guys can see, it's actually pretty simple to build a website. You're just creating a bunch of boxes and you're telling the boxes what to do. Right? So I think I've hit down the head enough so far. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create our first HTML file. So on Dreamweaver, I already have Dreamweaver open, so from your page, you can file new, or if you already have the screen up, select HTML or a new file, and select HTML, layout none, and then go ahead and create. So this file right here is where we're going to place all of our div tags. Alright, so what it's doing is saying, hey, this is a document, is HTML. Our HTML code is going to be within this tag of HTML. So this is the beginning. This is what is the beginning tag. It has no slashes in it, backslashes. This one's our closing tag. Then we have our head tag, our opening, and our head closing tag. And within this tag is where really the only thing you're going to see physically on the website is this entitled document, which you can see up here on title, and I'll explain that in a second. Other than that, this will be our links to our other pages, our CSS files, JavaScript files, etc. Will all go up here along with keywords and meta tag descriptions, which we'll get into a lot later on in future tutorials. And then we have our body tags. So we have our opening body tag, and then we have a closing body tag. And as you see, this one has no slash. This one does have a slash. Right? So all of our HTML, for the most part, is going to go within these two tags. Right? Now, with our CSS, telling those tags, the tags we create in there, what colors to be and whatnot, how wide you want to be, the CSS that we're going to use, you could do one of two things. You could either insert it within the head tag, or you could create a separate file, which is what we're going to do. If you create it within your website, which if you decide to do it within your web page, if you go to sources and you click the plus sign on the right hand side, you'll see define in page. What it does, it'll define all of your CSS in page. The problem with that is if you define it in page, every time anybody goes to your website, say for example, websitefornoobs.com, if I go to show page source, everybody can see all of your code for your website. So why would I want to tell everybody what my website, how it's made? So what I've done is I've actually established that, hey, here's my CSS file. I do have some CSS in here, but not all of it. And also I've named it very awkwardly, so it's kind of hard to find, figure out how I did all this. But also what I've done is this page was developed off of a template file. So some of the stuff being held within this page is on a template file, which is one CSS file. Then I have some CSS on another CSS file, which you can see is homecss.css. And then you also have coding within the page. So it's going to be a little bit more difficult for somebody to try copying my entire website just by looking at my coding within the source code or the source viewer on the internet browser. So in order to prevent people, if someone wants to copy your website, the best thing to do is hide as much of it as you can and let them figure it out and let them work hard to copy your website. So here's our HTML stuff. Now before we get into doing anything else, let's go ahead and save this file. Let's name it. This will become our template file eventually, so let's name it template. Alright, and as you can see, once I type that up there, if I click off, the title tag over here is changed to template. Alright, so let's go ahead and file, and we're going to save as. And for now, I'm going to save it in my root file, just temporarily. Eventually, we're going to delete this file. Alright, so now that file is saved, what this title tag does right here, I've got some good examples and poor examples, and my poor example is actually on my own website that I changed specifically for these sets of tutorials. I go to Safari, and if you look, I've got 3 different tabs up. We have Websites for Noobs, which is actually spelled F-O. So as you can see how, if I'm typing that in here, if I misspell it, look what happens. It doesn't look professional because I forgot the 4 in there. All right, and as you can see, I have an R after 4 in my Websites for Noobs. So you got to be careful when you're doing that. Now, if you look at Google, of course, Google has theirs and says Google, and it's going to stay that way. As you know, on Project Free TV, and if you could look, there's Project Free TV, and then they use a couple of dots, and they put their, the TV series, which this is Fast and Loud, and it's season 4. All right, so it shows the breakdown of the entire site, where you're at within their site. So as you can see, we're on their website, Project Free TV. We're in Fast and Loud, and we're on season 4. So it actually shows a breakdown of their entire page structure. You can do that. You may or may not want to maybe if you build a website this, you leave out the Project Free TV and you just do Fast and Loud season 4. All right, and they make a lot of money by putting ads on here, trying to get people to click on them. So now, if we go back to websitefornoobs.com, if you click on here, you see I have got website hosting reviews, and then you click on the next one, e-commerce. All right. Now, if I go to Arvik's select review, it says Arvik's website hosting. All right. So as you can see, it changes every single time I go to a new website or a new page within my website. And of course, this is my bad example on my home page, Websites for Noobs. All right, so it's you need to be very cautious when you're typing stuff in that people can see. You don't want a bunch of misspellings on your website. And you definitely don't want to screw up the stuff that is people are going to possibly look for in determining whether your website is safe or not. Because if your website is put together properly, they're going to think it's unsafe. So if you skip one thing off, what are you trying to skip out on? Are you trying to skip out on paying for additional security if you're selling stuff? Or are you actually are the ads you put on your website actually safe ads? Because if not, what if they're ads that are going to give you viruses on your computer? So you guys got to be very careful with the way you build your websites. All right, so now that we've done this, I think we've hit the nail on the head enough for that one. So we have a template HTML file. What I want to do is I want to actually attach a CSS file to this. So let's go to sources. And let's go ahead and hit this plus sign next to sources. And we're going to create a new CSS file. All right, so you get this little pop-up box, create a new CSS file. We're going to go ahead and select browse. From there, it automatically goes to my site. We're going to go ahead and select CSS, and we're going to name this one main. All right, so this can be our main CSS, or we can do template CSS, whatever you want to do. All right, but this one's going to be my main because this will eventually be my template page for the entire website. So main CSS. Go ahead and select save. And select OK. And now watch. Over here on the top left, template.html has now changed. I have a source code tab and a main CSS tab. Okay, so let's go ahead and file, save all. So now that we initially talked about div tags, so we're going to go ahead and create one div tag for now, and then we're going to finish off the rest of our template building on the next tutorial. So within our body tag, we want to create a template. All right. Now, if you look within our head tag, we have this new link that says, hey, our CSS file is main css.css. It's a style sheet and it's a CSS file. So let's go ahead and create a div tag real fast. And this one's going to be a wrapper tag. It's going to actually encompass, it's going to be a box we're going to put our entire website in. So let's go ahead and go to the top right, select insert. It automatically goes to structure. So we're going to select div. And for this specific div, we're going to do add insertion point, and we're going to name it center. Or you can name it wrapper. All right, whatever you want to do it. So I'll go ahead and leave it at wrapper because that's a common terminology used within website building, wrapper. Select OK, and now you got this little box. So let's go design mode. Got a box that spans across. When I hover over, it turns red. It's a bunch of little dots. It says content for ID wrapper goes here. Let's go ahead and view this now. Preview in Safari. Go ahead and select save. Now as you can see, once it loads up, content for ID wrapper goes here. Note that you cannot see the box. Alright, so we cannot see the box yet. So now let's go ahead, and what we want to do is we want to change the color of this background. So let's go and split this code off. So as you can see, our div ID, we named it wrapper, which is in quotes. Now when you're dealing with CSS, you're actually going to do a pound sign, and then you're going to write the name of the div tag without the quotes. So for instance, if we're creating a CSS tag for this, it would be pound wrapper, no quotes. So we're going to do it the easy way first. On the right hand side, under all where it says sources, we're going to select our main CSS, and under selectors, we're going to go ahead and click the plus sign over here. We're going to go pound, and as you can see, wrapper already shows up. Select enter. So now let's go ahead and change background color of this box, this wrapper box. Let's change it to, say, red. So go to properties, the fourth box in, background color. Currently it's undefined with the little white box with the line through it. So click on it. And then we're going to go ahead and for this instance, we'll do purple. Easy color to see. As you see, our page is turned to purple. Let's go ahead and preview. Click off that. Preview in Safari. It's going to save. Yes. So our entire box is turned purple now. All right. So let's go see what actually happened over here. So here's our div tag. Our wrapper tag has stayed the same, but as we told you before, our CSS, it says, hey, look at the CSS file for this wrapper content. So we go to our main CSS file. If you notice, we have, let me go space out, a pound wrapper with an opening bracket and a closing bracket, and we have changed the background color to purple, which is Bravo 60 Echo Charlie Bravo within our, according to the color scheme. So now what we want to do is we actually want to make this box a little taller. So it's going to click off, go to all sources again, main CSS, click on a wrapper tag, and let's go ahead and change the height to, let's say, actually correction. Actually, yeah, we can do that. Let's do pixels, and we're going to do 200 high just for this little bit of tutorial, and then we're going to go ahead and make it the width 1,000 pixels. Now, since you guys already know, I just showed you how to do that. You click on the pixels, you change the pixels, and you click on the number, and you can actually type in the number. All right. So now let's say that you don't want you feel that way is a little too slow for you. Go ahead and come over to wrapper tag, click over, press enter, and for this one, let's go ahead and type in width. The width colon, let's say 1,000 pixels semicolon, and then click off of it. Now the width has changed also now, so you can either hand type it over here, or you can do it all on the right side. So if we go to our all sources main CSS, click on wrapper, we now see width has changed 1,000 pixels. All right, so let's go ahead and preview this real quick in Safari. So now our wrapper tag, as you can see on this left-hand side, our wrapper tag is telling this div box now to be exactly 1,000 pixels wide. So you see width right here. Our height is 200 pixels, so 200 pixels tall, and a background color purple. Okay. So let's go ahead, because this is going to be wrapper tag, we don't want a height on there. Let's go ahead and delete the height out of there. Make it a small box again. Let's go and preview in Safari. As you see, we got a 1,000 pixel wide box that is the size of the content lettering inside of it. And then, the one thing is we don't want our entire website to sit on the left edge here. So let's go ahead and center this website within our screen. Let's go over here, click on main CSS, all sources, go to wrapper, and let's go ahead and find the box's margin top left, and let's click on the PX sign, or the pixel PX, versus 0px on the left hand side, change that to auto, and if you look to the left hand side over here, it has change margin left auto, and that's that for the right side also. Let's go and select auto. See, margin left is auto, margin right is auto on this left hand side. Let's go ahead and preview in Safari. And there we go. Our box is now centered in the website. Even mouse space of white on the right, or on the left, and even mouse space on the right. So, and as we make this page smaller, bigger, that box should automatically center itself. So as you see, it moves in and squishes in. Cool. That's what we're looking for here. So that is what we have done. That is our wrapper tag. So thanks for watching this video. You guys have learned a little bit about div tags. You guys have learned a little bit about CSS. And we've created our first tag for our template website wrapper tag, which we will be putting everything of our website within that in the future. If you guys do not have website hosting yet, go ahead and check out our websitefornoobs.com. All right. If you go to websitefornoobs.com, select on hosting. We've got a list of some of the more popular website hosting companies out there. They're all cheap. They're all great. Take a look at them. See what you guys think. If you go to Arvix, if you click on this link right here and you utilize the code NOOBIE, N-O-O-B-I-E, 20%, spelled out, so it's P-E-R-C-E-T, so NOOBIE 20%, you'll save 20% off website hosting with them. All right, but take a look at these website hosting companies. If you guys have used them before, please go click on our read reviews and write a review under the review section for future people that will be looking at our website. The more stuff we can get you guys to, or the more active we can get on our website from you guys, the better you guys will help us out on Google and stuff like that. So you guys add your comments here. If you guys do have a good tutorial video, please click here on share your content. Send us a video, link to your video on YouTube. You guys can even send us your stuff on Contact Us. And if you guys get a chance, please subscribe to this video and also give us a like on Facebook. As you can see, we only got 1 like so far. Our website is brand new. We just kicked it off maybe a week or 2 ago. So we're trying to build up our website a little bit. So thanks for watching the video.